Hi everyone, it's Jackie Broadbent. I just wanted to give you a quick recording of how to edit the new echo360 lecture recording. So this is different than iLecture that we've had in previous years. You can actually come in and edit your own recording after you have given it, which I think is a fantastic idea. So let's just kind of get started. The address, and I'll put this on the help sheet, is just the ecosystem at deakin.edu.au, and it'll actually bring you to this echo360 centre. So you're just going to put in your Deakin username and password and log in. Now don't be alarmed by all the lectures going on in my echo360 centre. I'm actually linked into 70 different lectures that are going on at the moment, and you will not have this same view. You actually have just the lectures that have been recorded in your unit at the present time. So as it is only week 2 for many of you, you will only have one lecture recording that's in here, and you can see here that actually my health behaviour lecture recording is here as well on top of everything else. So the great thing is that you come in here and you can kind of see the lectures that you have available to you, and when you highlight them you can see they bring up a range of options that you can use. So you can view, you can play an MP3, you can play an MP4, you can edit, which is what we're going to be doing, download it, look at closed captions, and you can also copy it. And copying it is really just a matter of clicking on this button, changing the name, and it will bring a second version of it. And you can see that I've just done this here, and it took 1 minute of processing perhaps, and I called it Jackie Practices 2. So we're going to practice on not my health behaviour lecture, but actually on just one that I've made up called Jackie Practices. So we want to click on Edit, and it's going to bring you this page that kind of gives you all the information about the lecture. So you can change the title here if you want to, but for the purpose of this recording we just want to scroll right down the bottom and click on Edit Media. So it'll load up a kind of editing suite, I guess, for echo360, and if you've had any experience with Camtasia, then this will be pretty intuitive for you. That being said, I still think it's a really easy system, even if you've never edited a recording before. So you can see that it has 4 tabs, which is Edit, Preview, Save, and Save New, and I'm going to take you through each of those tabs and how they kind of work. So the great thing is you can, if you want to edit something out, you can actually press play on your recording and see it, and then you can kind of look for the time that you might want to edit out. So this is a great way of kind of looking over it and deciding, oh yes, perhaps I've been setting up for 5 minutes at the start of the lecture and I want to edit that out. You can actually do that by using these little orange triangles. So one indicates the end time and one indicates the start time. So let's just put one right at the start here, and say this is my setting up time, and I think for the recording it would be really good to get rid of that. Once you've kind of clicked the spot, and you can see down the bottom here, it's kind of telling you where you're kind of cutting from, so 0.02 seconds to 0.38 seconds, and we click the scissors. Now this doesn't actually immediately get rid of this section, so do not panic if you get it wrong the first time. It actually kind of brings it up here for us to have a look at. We can also say we have a break. This is one of the reasons why we often edit things out, and so the recording is still going and students are on a break and it's noisy, and perhaps students come up and start talking to you and you've forgotten to mute the mic, or perhaps you just want to get rid of this section because it's boring for the people to have to kind of listen through. So we can just, again, we're going to edit that out, and obviously prior to this you would have looked at what time you wanted to edit out, and you can see this red arrow tells you the time. This red line tells you the different times at every time point. And let's just say my lecture finished early and I want to edit that out as well, so I'll put 3 edits in. So you can see in the edit view it highlights which edit each is, what time point it starts, what time point it ends, and what the duration is. So if we want to actually have a look at this and go, okay, are these the kind of edits that I would like, we go into Preview. The preview gives all the edits, and it gives these yellow lines that you might see at the start and the end that indicate a cut has been made. So let's drag a little play button to this middle edit, and we can actually press play and watch it and see how it actually transitions through that edit. And as you can see here, it wasn't really that much difference. I didn't pick a great spot. Obviously this slide was up for quite some time while we were practicing our recording for this. And so maybe I say to myself, actually, I'd really like to make that a bit longer. We can come back to the edit. We know that it's this middle edit, and I can say I want to edit that, and you can either change the time here. So I might say, actually, I want to make that to 40 seconds. And you can see that that'll extend it. Or if I wanted to edit it, I could actually drag the cursor further and click the tick arrow. We can come back and preview it again. So remember bringing our little play button all the way to the space that we just particularly want to look at and press play. And perhaps now it'll edit out more of this slide than it did previously. If we were happy, if we're unhappy with an edit, we can actually just press restore, and you can see that it deletes that middle edit. We can start again. Once we've kind of previewed it, we're happy with the edit of what it's going to look like, we can do one of two things. We can save it, and we would come in here and you would actually just press process edits. And the processing edits actually overrides your original lecture recording. So this is actually really good if you've already put up the link for the lecture recording for the students. Students come along, they've listened to it, they've found some error, and they're on DSO telling you that they can see something that they shouldn't, or something along those lines. When you come in here and edit that out and you press process edits, it actually overrides the original and also changes the version that's linked on DSO. So I think that's fantastic that you come in, you edit it out, and then you actually don't have to do anything after that. And it takes, this process edits takes somewhere between 1 or 2 hours, I've worked out, and it will just automatically change, so you don't have to do anything. If you're a little bit worried about kind of editing out sections, you might want to save new, just like you would a Word document, where you come in, change the name, and you've kind of created a new recording. So you can come in and call it Jackie Practices number 2, and then you just got to make sure that you select where the new location is going to go. So we might say T1 for Health Behaviour HPS 110 for all the Burwood students, or kind of everybody, whichever you would like. It's the same in my semester this in T1. And then we just press save as new, and that will save as a new recording. Now, if you do save new, you actually have to relink that onto DSO because it is a new recording. I think the great thing is about echo360, if anyone's had the opportunity to actually look at the lecture recordings so far, they're really crisp and clean, the audio is quite good, and they play videos really well. So one of the things that we might think about doing, or you might want to think about doing in an edit, is actually editing your iLecture recording into perhaps 3 videos. So students can come along and watch part 1, part 2 and part 3, and you would save new as for each one. And that's a great way to kind of break the lecture down into little pieces for the students instead of having one big block. Now, for some of you, this might be a little bit daunting. I totally understand hacking to pieces your recording and you might stuff it up. I'm more than happy to sit down with anybody and help them out to do this. As I said, it is easy, but it's probably easier than you think that it is. And I just think this is such a valuable resource to kind of have that control over your own lectures. So hopefully you've enjoyed this, you've learned something, and remember to shoot me an email. I'll be more than happy to sit down and show you how to do this step by step.